Hello, board members and staff. My name is Erin Hulse. Today, we're going to talk about Su Teatro's financial and engagement data. Our mission statement states, Su Teatro's mission is to promote, produce, develop, and preserve the cultural arts, heritage, and traditions of the Chicano Latino community, to advance mutual respect for other cultures, and to establish avenues where all cultures may come together. To continue our mission statement and the longevity of our organization, I believe it is time that we look at the data that our organization has collected. I believe it tells a story on how we can improve our future. First, I want us to look at our revenue. You can see on this chart that this shows the revenue from 2012 to 2017. In this chart, you can see that we are exponentially growing from our deficit in 2012. Our average revenue is $480,896.67. But as you can see, this average is not an accurate account on what we usually earn because of our 2012 outlier. So, I calculated the median revenue on our middle amount of what we have made in the last couple of years. I felt that this is a more accurate account of what can be more easily achieved for revenue. Our median revenue currently is $607,741. Next, let's look at our expenses. Take a moment to look at this chart of our expenses from 2012 to 2017. Of course, to earn more money, you usually have to spend more money. Our expenses have gone up, but so have our earnings. Our average expenses over the last 6 years are $601,962. Now, let's put these two charts together. On the green line, you can see our revenue, and on the red line, you can see our expenses. Between our median revenue of about $607,000 and our average expenses of about $602,000, you can see that we are barely breaking even. This chart visualizes and shows how close our organization is cutting it between revenue and expenses. Here is a more detailed look on how our financial health is in Su Teatro. As you can see, it is only within the past 3 years that we are coming out on the positive side of the spectrum. We need to continue this trend of positive figures at the end of each fiscal year so we can maintain our sustainability. Next, let's look at our overall financial health. Where do we stand with our working capital, assets, funds, and debt? This graphic is pulled from Data Arts. As you can see, our fixed assets are pretty steady, and our endowment/reserve funds do not currently exist. One positive thing on this graphic is our reduction of debt. We want to continue working towards this reduction of debt, and a main way to do this is to increase our revenue to pay off our debts. Even though it is slight, we have been pushing towards our reduction of debt. What I really want to focus on in this chart is the orange bar. This orange bar represents working capital. This graphic is done pretty poorly in the aspect of working capital because it seems like in 2016 there wasn't any working capital that exists. However, this is not true. In 2016, we had a working capital of the sum of $3,391. And in 2017, we increased this to $178,000. What is working capital, you may ask? Well, it is the resources available for current operations. This number is very important because it shows your financial strength. This amount allows flexibility to take artistic risks, to cover any obligations like replacing equipment, and still having a cushion to fall back on. Think of it as our backup savings account. We should continue to strive to add to these funds. Right now, with these funds, we currently have about 3 months of working capital to maintain our organization's operations. This graphic pulled from Data Arts shows that in 2016 we had less than a month of working capital to maintain our organization's expenses, and in 2017 we have increased that to 3 months. In 2016, the average arts organization had 5 months of working capital for their total expenses. This statistic is pulled from Thomas and Voss. Now that we have looked at our organization as a whole, let's look at our latest productions data. Our latest production was The Revolutionists. The Revolutionists earned our organization a revenue total of $11,831,036. This is excluding our Sunday matinee fundraiser performance. We excluded the matinee because we wanted to show the profit, purely the profit that we acquired from this performance. Where did all this money come from? As you can see in this pie chart, our biggest pull for revenue during this production were ticket sales and concessions. Ticket sales earned about 59% of the revenue, and concessions earned 29%. Let's continue looking at our ticket sales from this production of The Revolutionists. This data is without the matinee fundraiser. Su Teatro's venue can fit a total of 250 patrons. As you can see in this chart, we did not sell enough tickets on any date to fill the theater's capacity. Except on Monday, we were always under 40% of capacity filled. Overall, our best-selling ticket days were Thursdays and Mondays. Out of all of our performances, only 615 seats were sold out of 2,750 seats available. This puts us at only a 22% capacity sold for the entire run of The Revolutionists. I believe there is a lot of growth to be had here. Our goal is to reach more people, so we should want a higher capacity filled. What are some ways we can reach more patrons and fill more seats? Here's a little sad face for the under the 25% of capacity sold. As we know, sometimes even though your capacity is full, it does not necessarily mean you had great ticket sales. It could mean there were a lot of free tickets and discounted tickets given. Unfortunately for us, we had a low capacity sold and a lot of free and discounted tickets. Right now, our general admission price is $20. Our student discount admission rate is $17, and our Flex Pass comes out to $12 for the show. Our Flex Pass is sold for 12 shows for $12, equaling a $144 value. Even with our ticket sales at this price, our lowest ticket sale night per head came to $6.64. So on Friday, the 22nd, with all the audience members in the audience, each patron came to about $6. This tells me we had a lot of free tickets and discounted prices. Our highest night was our matinee fundraiser at $17.41 a head. However, since we didn't profit from that night, I decided to only show the data from our profited night. Our highest profiting night was Monday at $14.17 per head. This leaves our average price per ticket for the overall run at $12.11. Since we only had 40 subscribers in 2017 for the $12 per show, this is much less than what we should be seeing for ticket prices at $20 and $17 a head. This shows me we are giving a lot of free and discounted tickets. From looking at our average ticket price, I did some more digging. I saw that our attendance was up 21% from 2016 to 2017. This is a great advancement. However, in 2016, 67% of patrons paid for tickets, and in 2017, our paid patron rate went down to 62%. So just because we attracted more patrons does not necessarily mean our revenue was better. Now let's answer the question of who's buying our tickets. In our values, we state we want to partner with communities to deepen the general public's relationship with art. To strive for a partnership with the general public, we need to know who are buying tickets and how to keep them engaged in our art. A relationship is a maintained partnership. To achieve this value, we need to know what kind of patrons are buying our tickets and whom to market to. Let's look at the type of patrons we are attracting. In 2016, our biggest pull for patrons were adults at 4,847 seats of sales. Students came in second at 4,682 seats in sales, and seniors came in last at 3,987 seat sales. For 2016, our total patrons were 13,561. In 2017, we went up to 16,350 total patrons. However, as we grew in patrons, our pull amount and types of patrons completely altered. In 2017, our highest patron types were seniors at 7,155 seats sold. Next were adults at 5,399 seats sold. And lastly came in students at 3,895 seats sold. In the past 2 years, you can see our patron type completely changed. How much did our patron type change? Well, as you can see from this chart from Data Arts, the pool of students has drastically changed. 18 and younger audiences decreased by 17%, and students in schools altered and decreased to 22%. What changed? Well, we had an 80% change in our registration for workshops and classes. We drastically cut this program and only had 95 participants in 2017. This is a loss of 379 students. Also, it seems that we became less geared towards field trips. We lost 288 students through the avenue of field trips. This is a change of 38%. As we look at our patron types, we should be proud of drawing more adults and seniors. This growth is significant and should help ticket sales because they typically have a higher admission price. We should be very proud of our connection being made with adults and seniors, audience members in our community. However, as we should continue to market towards seniors and adults, we should not lose sight of our education programming. To grow our numbers more drastically, we need to continue our partnership and relationship with schools. Lastly, I want to look at what our fundraising efforts have pulled in for donations. In 2016, you can see that we pulled in $510,000 or $510,446,000, and in 2017 we had $714,064 in donations. This is a 40% increase. Now that was a lot of information and a lot of data to take in. So let's review on some things we can improve on and make goals for our beloved organization. So to be in a financial healthy place with a higher working capital and to continue each year with positive figures, we need to focus our efforts on earning more revenue. How are some ways we can do this? By selling more tickets, aka having a higher capacity sold, giving away less free tickets, and also another way to earn revenue is increasing donations and fundraising amounts. Also, to sell more tickets, we need to be sure to engage more patrons. To continue to bring established patrons in, re-engaging lapsed patrons, and attracting new patrons will help us achieve our increasing revenue goals. As a smaller organization, our mission is to attain more social engagement. But to do this, we have to be in a financially healthy place to achieve our outreach mission. This is why these two goals go hand in hand. Let's make some goals based on our financial past. Right now, we have about 3 months of working capital. I believe we should start working towards a 4-month working capital of about approximately $200,000. In 2017, the revenue was about $769,000. For a revenue goal for next year, let's try to increase that amount from $769,000 to $800,000. How do we achieve this? Let's focus on identifying some KPIs for our first goal. The goal is more revenue and more working capital, which means more tickets sold and more donations. To keep our theater sustainable and our revenue vital, this does not necessarily mean butts and seats and ticket sales as our only options. It also refers to fundraising and programming initiatives. However, since ticket sales were our greatest source of income, our biggest focus should be improving sales. What are some KPIs we should monitor to work towards this goal? Ticket revenue, number of tickets sold, free and paid, to see what our percentages are in each, capacity sold, how many tickets we sold, and of course our fundraising and donation amounts that we earned. How do you get more revenue? Through patrons. Without patrons, you do not have ticket sales or donations. That is why we need to track our data capture rate. Do we have full contact information on our patrons? Without this, we cannot market. What about the demographics of our patrons? This information, like age segmentation, is so important so our marketing team can be able to better target certain patron types. Speaking of marketing, in order to achieve more revenue and attract new and established patrons, we need to be keeping an eye on our marketing tactics. Are schemes working? We can monitor our marketing tactics through this tactic success through KPIs of click-through rate, engagement rate, and response rate. These numbers and statistics will help us see our success on how we are reaching our patrons. How are they interacting with us? Without reaching our patrons, we will not be able to fill our venue and sell more seats and increase our donation amounts. In conclusion, I want our organization to continue on the positive track it is going. We have the potential to increase our revenue and patron participation at an exponential rate. As a whole, we need to become and become more data oriented together to reach our organization's sustainability goals. Each department has an important role in Su Teatro's success. Our box office team is key in collecting data and patron demographics. Our marketing team is key on how to reach our patrons to sell more tickets. Also, our education is also vital for keeping our student patrons engaged. We all have a role to play in Su Teatro's growth and becoming more data-oriented. Thank you for your time, and I am excited for us to reach these goals together.